In all modesty, today's lecture could be perceived by you as how few the ideas are in anything, including my own course. I told you about the movement of people, pedestrians. That was the problem invoking discovering the design of the Atlanta airport. But it's about rivers or people. More recently, we looked at the river basins. And today you'll see an engineering application about this, by the way, the same idea it was, okay? Today you'll see the third performance of the same song having to do with the application of these to the cooling of electronics. Don't get too scared. We're not going to become experts about this. It's just the idea in the realm of heat flow. So pedestrian flow, water flow, heat flow. The difference is that you can see the people, you can see the water, but you cannot see the heat, okay? But because you have theory, which is in your mind, you are very powerful and you know what to do with this third, let's call it reverberation of an idea. Or something else, speaking of heat flow. You may recall that in thermodynamics they teach you that if let's say, a hunk of something, material, is initially in a state of non-uniform temperature, that means non-isothermal, but it is perfectly insulated, then in time, the hot spots will come to equilibrium with the cold spots inside this isolated chunk. And the aftermath is called equilibrium, or uniformity, in this case, uniformity of temperature. That is thermodynamics doctrine, which has nothing to say about how that heat flowed from hot to cold inside this black box. But obviously there must have been a path, or maybe a multitude of paths, more like river basins on top of river basins, depending on the structure of the material in which the equilibrium was being established. And that is where you see the limitations, in this case thermodynamics, of the most general, the most overpowering of all the disciplines that people teach you. Thermodynamics, its two laws. Thermodynamics is obeyed by anything and everything, but it overlooks this aspect which is the object of this particular course, and has to do with the configuration that facilitates that flowing, and the facilitating is a natural tendency, which I call the Constructal law. But in this edition of the course, I'm staying away from jargon. You can read about the Constructal law in the textbook and many other places in these videos that you'll find at this website, not in the videos about the course, but in the older videos about this movement. And something else, there you'll see that this 15th Constructal conference will be held this year in Miami at Florida International University. So Miami, from the 5th to the 7th of November. And this is important for you to know. The registration is inexpensive. It's important for you to know in this course you have a chance to produce a paper, original paper, that would qualify you to participate, present, and if it is good enough, publish in a peer-reviewed journal. So this is an additional incentive for each of you to demonstrate in this paper your individuality and originality, but also to learn from this exercise of presenting your idea in this class, to learn, first of all, how to do it, but also to discover the pleasure of telling your peers something that's truly yours. You see that? So that's the carrot in front of the horse. While I was writing my notes last night, I was beginning to smile. When I decided to do something about my discovery that there's a little bit of Da Vinci that's inspiring me, that was in the mid-1990s. This idea was only one, and you already got it when I talked about the Atlanta airport. But coming from heat transfer, which was my specialty, I was proposing designs for my sponsor at the time, which was the IBM division here in the Research Triangle Park. And I knew that if I presented this idea as an engineering thing, it would be poo-pooed by the recipients. Scientists, these folks who call themselves that, treat engineers as second-class people. Even though engineering is a science. If you check Webster's dictionary, you'll discover that every single one of us is a science. The science of engineering is the science of useful devices, phenomena, and that's basically it, okay? And if you delete the word useful, you end up the definition of everything or anything, which is called physics. Speaking of who is second class and who is not. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So here's Adrian with the idea, but quite sure that it was going to be kind of not even looked at. So I decided to publish it first about pedestrians. So chronologically, this was number one. Then I published this one about cooling electronics. The third one was about the flow of fluids. And then there was a fourth one with which I'll entertain you a little bit later in the course, which has to do about design, not in space, but design in time, which is called rhythm. Oh, 4. So I published these 4 papers in the course of 10 months. Relax. The result was silence anyway, in this very clever way. All right. Questions?